Hey everyone, this is Pete, and today we're going to play Blades of Vengeance for the Mega Drive, a 1993 release from Electronic Arts, developed by Beam Software. I don't remember coming across this back in the day, but I've become rather fond of it in recent years. I think it was a classic Game Room video that first made me aware of it. Blades of Vengeance is a fantasy-themed action game that probably owes a certain debt to Taito's Kadash, though it plays down the RPG elements of that classic in favour of more conventional arcade-style lives and power-up systems. The developer, Beam Software, was an Australian company originally founded in 1980 and has been incredibly prolific over the years. Some of its most well-known games include The Hobbit on ZX Spectrum and The Way of the Exploding Fist on various home computer platforms, the SNES versions of Shadowrun and MechWarrior, and the well-regarded PlayStation 2 Transformers game. The studio is actually still around today, though it's now known as Chrome Studios Melbourne after several takeovers. Blades of Vengeance has had a bit of a middling reception over the years, but seems to have become a bit of a cult favourite in more recent times. Writing in the December 1993 issue of the UK's Sega Power, reviewer Rob Pegley rated the game 60%, expressing a certain weariness over games of this type. "It's all good fun, I know," he wrote, "but there are just a few too many of these games around now. Surely these feuding rapiers of death, sabres of malice, and sharp pointy weapons of carnage games have had their day." How little he knew. Meanwhile, in one of the tiniest reviews you'll ever see, 5 Electronic Gaming Monthly reviewers spent a grand total of 41 words rating the game 8, 7, 6, 8 and 6 out of 10. "Take away the cheap hits and Blades of Vengeance could have really been something," they wrote in the publication's December 1993 issue. But as it is, fans of Golden Axe and the like will probably be right at home with this one. The 2-player simultaneous is a big plus. The UK's Mega magazine offered one of the lowest scores for the game, with reviewer Paul Mellerick rating it 44% in the publication's December 1993 issue. "Blades of Vengeance is a terribly poor, nothing-to-do fantasy hack-and-slash platformer," he wrote. "Yeah, the characters are big and they move nicely, but there's very little action, boring characters, tedious bosses, dull scenery, and a slightly dodgy control system. There are plenty of role-playing elements, such as finding armour for your character, equipping yourself with weapons and finding more spells, but rather than adding an element of strategy, they just add another layer of tedium. There's not a lot more I want to say about this, so I'm not going to. I'll leave it up to you as to whether or not to read anything into the fact that the 3 screenshots from the game in this review are all from its first 5 minutes, and most of the information covered can be gleaned from the manual. Tepid critical reception aside, this game offers a stiff challenge, but I think it's a lot of fun. So let's go play Blades of Vengeance. Okay, here we are with Blades of Vengeance from EA and Beam Software. Like I say, this is a relatively recent discovery for me, and I'm not super good at it, but hopefully what I'll show you today will give you a good idea of what it's all about. So let's begin. The 1-player game. So we start by choosing a character. We can be the Huntress, who is a bikini armour clad lovely, a rippling muscled barbarian with his special pants, as one of the reviews called it, or a wizard who is bearded and can do magic. Now, as anyone who knows me will well know, I will pretty much always pick a female character if one is on offer, so let's choose the Huntress. She is probably the most well balanced of all the characters, in that she's got good speed, decent attack power. She gets a ranged weapon later on. I don't know if we'll get far enough to show that, but yeah, she's nicely rounded. "My servants, you must first pass through the mountains of flame. Legend tells of a great fire creature that will prevent any from escaping. Beware of his eyes." So the basic plot of this is that an evil sorceress has taken over the world, and you've got to stop her. That's about as far as it goes. So we begin. Controls on this are pretty simple. You've got the B button on the Mega Drive to slash. You can do an overhead slash by pushing up and slash at the same time, and you can do a crouching slash as well. Crouching also blocks projectiles as well, which is useful to know. You can jump with the C button, and the amount of time you press the C button determines how high and far you will jump. And the A button uses items. We don't have any items at the moment, but you can select those by pressing the start button and scrolling through your inventory. When you're paused, you can also hold down the C button and scroll the level around a bit as well. So that can help you to judge any otherwise blind jumps, or perhaps find some secret areas as well. So, we begin with a bit of the hacking and the slashing and the collapsing of the bridge. And we immediately find a secret area down here. Largely because I knew where it is. That's a healing potion. I thought there was something else down there, but no, it's just a way back up. I thought there was something else. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of another part of the level. Anyway, yes, this game is absolutely packed with secrets that mostly involve wandering into walls and seeing if you can walk through them. And there are plenty of rewards on offer for doing so. So your aim in this is simply to get from one end of the level to the other. This isn't an open structure exploration platform or anything like that. But it is a game developed on what I would call the vaguely European mould, in that levels have a few different routes you can take and you can explore a bit, but there's still an obvious beginning, middle and end for each of them. And more treasures. And yeah, so the game unfolds like this as you progress through. Now, I believe you can actually hold the B button and walk backwards as well. Yes, so you can do that if you want to keep facing the same direction and just move in the other direction. So that's quite useful for some of the bosses, I think. But not so much in sort of everyday use, as it were. Now, one thing worth being aware of in this is that there is full damage. It's relatively generous full damage, but there is still full damage, so you need to be careful of that when leaping off platforms. There's also the odd enemy like that who looks like other enemies but takes a few additional hits to kill, so you got to be wary and make sure that you don't get too cocky about things. Like this one, he looks the same as the other goblins we fought, but he takes 3 hits to kill instead of 1. So yeah, I really like this game because it's kind of emblematic of, I want to say, a sort of 90s metal attitude almost. It's the whole game looks like a kind of heavy metal album cover from the 1990s, possibly even the 1980s, and I just really like the way it looks. Now that sparkly thing there, I don't know how well it comes across, but on the status panel you should see one of the 2 diamonds above my health bar is now glowing. That means my attacks are powered up to their first level, so you can power them up to twice. And if you can get yourself some armour, which also comes with a bonus weapon, you can power them up even more, make them even stronger. But you do lose your sparklies if you lose a life, so I think you lose one level of sparkly. And there are very limited opportunities to collect those throughout the levels. So you want to try and avoid doing that if at all possible. So we've lost a bit of life. If I hit the start button and go through my inventory now, you can see I've got 2 healing potions. So I can select that, press start again to resume play, press the A button and heal myself. So that's how you use potions and various other items that you'll find along the way. The bags of silver that we're collecting, you can spend those between each world. So not between each stage, but between each world. And from there you can get yourself some additional items and power-ups, and I think you get the armor through this shop after the 3rd level, I think it is. So you are deliberately limited in your capabilities up until you reach that point. So you don't level up through experience points or anything like that. Your score is relevant though, because you get a after 75,000 points, and I think it's every 75,000 points after that as well. So points are important. Whoops. Because, as will probably come up in my attempts today, you have no continues by default. You have no continues by default and only 3 lives to start with. So you want to try and keep yourself as safe as you can. Try and minimize death. Defeat enemies before they get to you. Try not to fall off platforms because lava really hurts. It's not instant death, but it is painful. And try not to get yourself into situations like that where you're surrounded, because that's always bad. Right, and the third stage of each world is always a boss fight. These are all fairly simple and pattern based, but still demand a bit of careful timing and trying to make sure. So you see there, because I'm ducking, although the projectile didn't hit my sword directly, I still blocked the attack. So you can hit him without... Nope. Too slow. So this guy, as you can see, alternates between launching little fiery baddies at you and popping out and lasering you. So you can hit him about 3 times before you need to block. And then you just repeat the cycle, basically. 2, 3. Didn't get as many hits on him there as I'd like, but it's okay. Right, now he's not dead. He's just gone into his second phase now, where he's just a little bit faster. Oh, don't really want to be on this side of him. That's not good. But not much we can do about that right now. Just going to have to hit him. And block. And hit him a bit more. And block. Let's take a healing potion just in case. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! That went poorly. I won't lie, that went poorly. And block. Oh no, this is going terribly. It's because I got on the wrong side of him. Right, and hit him. And he's down. He's down. With no loss of a life. So that's something. Isn't it? That's simply marvellous. Right, so you then get some bonuses depending on how many items you have at the end of the stage. So if you'd save some of your items rather than using them, you will get some extra points for that, which will bring you ever closer to that that continue that you might want. Right, so then on to the next world.
Now you must seek a tower. The entrance lies somewhere within the catacombs beyond. Once a battle raged here and an evil king was slain. His ghost still roams these tunnels, thirsting for blood. Equip yourself wisely.
Right, I know that we need at least 20 gold, or silver rather, to get the armour later on. So I'm actually going to save my money for the moment, because we've got some of those potions already. So there's no point wasting your money if you don't need to. Now, one common criticism of this game, particularly by modern commentators, is that the colour palette is very red and brown. And that is true. That is true. I think of this game as having quite an Amiga-like aesthetic. There was a lot of Amiga games around sort of a similar time, maybe slightly earlier than this, that had this very sort of similar red and gold, red and brown palette. If you ever played any Bitmap Brothers stuff, it will probably be familiar to you. If you played Gods, that sort of thing. But I think it's quite striking because the red really stands out nicely as an accent colour. And there's some nice graphical detail. I think this is a good looking game. There's some nice animation on the characters. And there's a nice variety of different enemies as well. Yes, it is a little prone to palette swapping later on. But for the most part, there's a nice mix of fantasy enemies to sharpen your sword against. And they each have their own distinct behaviours, as you can see. There's very few of them are just wandering back and forth on set patterns. Some of them will chase you. Some of them will take erratic patterns to try and get you, like the bats do. Some of them will just patrol, yes. But there's never a feeling like you're just sort of going through the motions, as it were. You always need to be prepared for what's coming your way. So like these red guys, for example, because they take a couple of hits, you need to be sure that you can hit them before you get too close. Now it's a bit of an awkward position to put us in there. Let's see if we anyway. Oh, get him with an overhead jumping slash. Didn't quite work out, but never mind. So this stage is a good example of the level design that I was talking about before. This feels a lot more Euro platformer, as it were. What are those ones? Are they something we can use? They're blast ones. So that's a spell basically we can use. We've also got invisibility potions, force field potions, and the healing potions that we had before. So okay. But yeah, as you can see, there's usually several different routes around the place for you to take. Which just keeps things a little bit more interesting. And stops it from just feeling like it's a straight run from left to right all the time. That guy there, you can see he had two different attacks. So we could block his projectiles. We couldn't block his slash though. The block is just for projectiles. One thing you might notice as well is that not all enemies will deal damage to you when you touch them. Haven't found any secrets in this level, have we? Let's just take a little bit of time to have a little wander around, see if we can find anything unusual. Avoid the bat there. There's the platform over there. So yeah, that look around function with the pause mode is really useful. Because as you can see, without it you would have quite a few blind jumps. So it might have been nice to not have to pause to do that, but you know, this was a game built with the original 3-button Mega Drive controller in mind, so, and all 3 of those buttons are already being used for something, so. Oops. They're tough. Yeah, not sure we're gonna find anything too interesting. Oh, I tell a lie. We found a chest. That was worthwhile. Now you do have to be careful when doing this because enemies do respawn. Enemies do respawn, so you see things like the bats in particular, they come back. Okay, nothing else there. Alright, let's head onwards to the exit then. There's a lot of little things I like about the presentation in this. I think one time on the Moe Gamer podcast, me and Chris talked about how much I've always liked games where when you swing your sword it leaves a visible sort of swish behind you like this. I think for the first game where I saw that was Capcom's Strider, and I found it a very striking kind of visual effect. And always really liked it when games kept that in there. It's also useful feedback because when you have a big sword slash like that, it's a nice clear indication of where your strike is actually hitting, and it helps you with aiming your attacks and making sure they land. Right, onwards to the next stage. So that underground door leads to somewhere outdoors which doesn't start with the door, so don't think about that too much. You don't need to think about the logic of these things. It's a 16-bit platformer. Oh, you're tough. But you also drop some stuff, which is nice. Anything interesting over there? Nope, nothing around there. So yeah, it's a shame this game seemingly had such a sort of tepid reception from its various reviews. Because I think it's good. I think it's not just all right. I think it's pretty good. I can see where some of the criticism come from. Like the color palette does stay very similar for a lot of the game. But I think it's well chosen for the subject matter. It's not a game where sort of brightly coloured scenes would really fit in. Though I guess it would be nice to have a little bit more variety and so on. But you know, on some level you've got to give it props for having a coherent art style. And I think it captures the feel of the sort of setting it's going for really well. It's got a very sort of fantasy novel look to it. The sort of traditional fantasy novel cover art, that's what I mean by that. Yeah, I'm getting the hang of this now. This is a tricky game, so don't be discouraged if you try this for yourself and you find yourself dead in the first world, because it is a tricky game. It's not easy. It's not afraid to fight you. And there's some platforms up there. How do we get up there, I wonder? But yeah, it's all a matter of mastering those controls. Getting a feel for the different enemy attack patterns. And how best to counter them. How do we get up to those high up platforms, I wonder? I don't see any way of getting up there. And I'm not aware of any sort of... I don't think there's any sort of flying potion or anything like that. Or if there is, we don't have one. Uh-oh. Rocks fall and you die. Yeah, I gotta say, this session is going a lot better than my last few attempts at this game. Oh, you again. You're not big and you're not clever. But you do have a healing potion, so thank you for that. Alright, second boss. I can't remember if I've actually got this far before, so this should be interesting. Maybe I'll prepare a force field potion, just in case. This is the third section, isn't it, I think? Interesting. Maybe there's some level to go through before the boss. Oh, hello. You're big and scary. Don't like you. Ow. Ooh, what does this do? A Midas ring. Right, that's like a smart bomb, I think, that turns all the enemies on screen into money. Ooh, excuse me. So, useful in theory. I don't know how much in practice, though, because, as you've probably seen, you don't tend to encounter a lot of enemies at the same time. Do I want to go that way? Or do I want to have a look further down? Let's have a look further down first. Oh, whoops. Never mind. Spiders! Jumping spiders. Get out of here. How many healings have I got? 3. Let's use one. Oops. This looks like it might be boss up ahead. Let's head back and see if there's any more treasures first of all. Because a few more potions and whatnot certainly wouldn't go amiss. Or am I stuck down here now? Oh, I have a feeling I might be stuck down here now. Okay, fair enough. Guess we're going onwards. I guess that's what's happening. Ooh. Now this is a situation the Midas ring might be useful. There we go. Turn them all into money. Got 19 silver now. That's almost enough for the armour. But like I say, I'm pretty sure that comes along after the 3rd level, not the 2nd. So we don't get to enjoy that just yet, unfortunately. Oh, hello. Jumpy spiders. Treasure! What's the scroll? Strength scroll. Oh no. A chest full of spiders. My worst nightmare. I don't know about worst nightmare, but that'd be pretty awful, wouldn't it? Oh, that's not good. Oh no. Yeah, I feel like if you opened a chest and found it was full of spiders, that would probably rank quite lowly on general life experiences. Right, there we go, that's better. And there's another power-up, so you can see both my diamonds are glowing now. So I should be a bit stronger. Yeah, I can kill those guys in 2 hits now instead of 3. So that's good. We want to try and avoid dying in that case. No, none of that shit. Let's heal up. Oh, you can block them. Interesting. Yeah, being able to kill those guys in 2 hits is pretty huge. Because it means that in a lot of cases you can kill them before they are able to swing at you. Healing potion, thank you very much. You again. You don't scare me, I know your pattern. And another healing potion. This is going swimmingly. This is another boss in that case. Right, maybe that force field potion would be a good idea right now. It's a wizard! Do I need the force field? I think it might not be a terrible idea, actually. Let's do it. Yeah, so that's complete invincibility for a, presumably just a short period, or a very short period, in fact. But you can reflect his shots. Oh, that's interesting. If you can bait him into firing in that particular direction behind him, they'll just bounce off the floor. It does hurt you to just touch him though, which is not good. You are annoyingly tough, sir. I hope I'm actually damaging him. Gonna have to use another healing potion. Oh, I faced the wrong way, blocking. Oh, this is going very poor. Oh, I've got him though. I've got him there. Had to burn a lot of healing potions, but it was worth it. Okay, so I think those bonuses are based on the total number you collected rather than the number you have on hand. That makes sense. So it's basically a rundown of the treasures that you found in that level.
Faithful warriors, ahead lies the northern watchtower guarding the dungeons of the Lost City. Make haste to descend and find the door to the dungeons.
Right, what can we buy this time? We can buy an extra life for 10. That might be worth doing. Yeah, let's do that. Because then we've still got 22 for the armour. Do I buy a healing potion? Because we'll find some money throughout this, so yeah, I'm going to buy a healing potion. Just in case. Don't think I've seen this level before. Because like I say, I don't think I've even seen that wizard boss before. Thankfully he wasn't horrendously difficult, but I could have definitely handled it better than we did. Bum! Bum. It's you again, is it? There we go. And a healing potion for our trouble. Thank you very much. Up or down? Let's go up. That's some nice detail on the way the mechanism is working there. Treasure! Excellent stuff. Yeah, so we're getting a bit of variation in colour palette here. It's still quite sort of desaturated overall, but you can see we've got this sort of navy blue sky in the background now instead of the red sky we had before. So that changes things up a bit. And there's a bit more grey instead of brown now. So still quite drab colours. They're still in keeping with the overall aesthetic, but a contrast from the previous levels. Which some of the reviews I read sort of seem to think like this game looks the same all the way through. And like I say, I get it. If you're used to like super colourful console games, of which there were plenty on the Mega Drive, then this might look a little bit drab. But equally, it's a valid choice of aesthetic, I think, particularly for this sort of subject matter. We're doing nicely on the treasures. They put far too much effort into that climbing animation. I think there might be more frames of animation for that climbing animation than actually just walking. Oh, Sadie can show her bum bum. Granted, it's a very nice muscular bum bum. So I'm not complaining. Come here. I always find sound effects from this era of gaming quite interesting, because as you can hear from the music, the Mega Drive has a very capable sound chip, and it's capable of doing some excellent music with things like oh, see, that's the sparkle there, but because we've already got two glowing diamonds we can't pick that up. Yeah, so you can hear that the Mega Drive had sort of mostly FM synthesis music, but it could do sampled drums. I mean, it could do samples in general, but a lot of them came out very, very crispy sounding. But you listen to the sound effects in this of the swishing of the sword and the sort of the sounds when you destroy an enemy and so on. They're very sort of 8-bit sounds. And I always find it quite interesting when you have sort of different types of, I guess it's different ways of producing the sound used at the same time like this. So I think technically what we've got there is we've got some FM synthesis on the music, we've got some PCM sounds on the drums in the music, and then we've got sort of PSG sounds similar to those you'd have on the Master System for the actual sound effects. And it's always quite interesting when those are used together, I think, because it almost seems like they don't match with one another. I think some of the most striking examples I heard of that were the Final Fantasy VII on PS1, which has amazing music, but surprisingly crappy sound effects. I mean, they work for the purposes of the game, but they sound completely incongruous with the rest of the way the game sounds. And also there was a Bomberman game on the Game Boy Advance that had sort of very elaborately orchestrated Super NES style music for its single player mode, but then its multiplayer mode had music that had very sort of music that sounded more like the original Game Boy, so very, very chiptune-y. And again, those two things felt very incongruous with one another. Oh, you're really hard to deal with, aren't you? Yeah, you're a pain. A real pain. Yeah, I do like the little detail of the counterweight on the lift there. How many potions have I got left? Just one. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. Is this going to collapse? This looks like the sort of bridge that might collapse. It didn't collapse. That's good. That is good. Oh, another one of you. I don't like you. But I think this is the strategy. Hit once while you're roaring. Oh, healing potion. Thank you very much. Oh, boss already. I've got 3 force field potions. Let's use one. If this is a boss, it's not a very difficult one. Ow. Oh no! He says, dying. Bollocks. Gotta do that all again now. Have I done it? I guess so. Oh, we got over 75,000 points now. We should ever continue now. And we should hopefully be able to buy the armour as well.
The great dungeons are filled with traps and evil devices to prevent escape, but it is the only path to the city. Take care.
Well, that seems like poor urban planning. There it is. Yes, I will have that, please. Can't afford an extra knife. So let's get a healing potion instead. Right. Right, so we see we're now all armoured up and we've got a crossbow. Which makes life much easier. To an extent. Now, you'll notice our sparkly diamonds have gone away. That is because once you're armoured, you automatically have the equivalent of 2 power-ups. And you can collect 2 more to have sort of 4 times your original strength. So armoured with 2 power-ups is considerably stronger than you were before. I think there's also a power-up attack you can do. Yeah, there we go. So you can do like a spread shot type thing there. A milky white potion. I wonder what that does. There's a gas potion. Oh, that's probably for getting through the sort of miasma that was over there, wasn't it? Let's heal up. What's down here first? Notice, armoured up but still visible bum bum. Okay, not that way. This way? You've actually got to be a bit careful with the crossbow because it's easy to get into. It's easy to get lulled into a sort of false sense of security, and because you don't seem to have your melee attack at all anymore, it actually pays to try and keep your distance a bit. Right, so I assume this is what we need the gas potion for. Except I think I've just wasted it. I have just wasted it. Good! Well, that's just great, isn't it? So where do we go then? Maybe it is through here. Oh no, that was where I got the potion, wasn't it? Now we're getting into Euro platformer territory. Oh. Oh, you're not very nice. You're not nice at all. Let's have some healing. There we go. That's how you get through that bit. And what's in here? Nothing particularly useful. Good. Well, good. Is that platform going to come back up again? Maybe not. Can I make it over there? I can probably make it over there, can't I? Yes. Alright, so that didn't achieve anything. Must be like a switch or something somewhere then, I guess. I can probably make it down there as well, can't I? Oh my god. Well, that's rude. Vampire bats turning into actual vampires. So you gotta attack him when he's attacking. Kaboom! Through here? Maybe? Oh no. Get out of here. No! A lot of death in this level. Are you gonna come back down again? I guess not. Okay. You respawn, that's not fair, is it? No one likes a respawner. Get off. Ow. Yeah, this is getting much harder now. Because the thing to remember with those red guys is not to panic, because they don't hurt you just by touching them. It's only when they actually... It's only their swing animation that actually damages you. Uh-oh. Well, that was a lot of health. Ooh, a key. Maybe that's for that that gate we saw before. Yeah, let's heal back up to full, shall we? Ow. Can't hit the spider at either elevation. Alright, we'll go the bottom way then. I like the music in this. It's nicely atmospheric. It's not the sort of thing you'll be humming to yourself in... Oh, is that a secret wall there? It was. Not the sort of thing you'll be humming to yourself in the shower by any means, but... it does a nice job of sort of capturing the atmosphere of these different environments. So not that way this time. Back this... oh... how do we get back then? Have I got a gun? There we go. Got it in the end. Yeah, that's interesting. Something caused that door to slam on me. How did I get the spider before? Like that. Except he's probably respawned now. He's gone off screen. Nope. Okay. Okay, how do we get through there then? Evidently not by getting stabbed through it. And we can't shoot through it either. Are we dealing with a puzzle? Are we dealing with a puzzle in this mindless hack and slash nothing to do game that doesn't require strategy? The obsession with strategy in late 80s, early 90s computer magazines is something I find very odd. And you can hear it in TV shows like Games Master as well. Like, a lot of reviewers were obsessed with the idea of video games having strategy in them. And they don't mean strategy games. They mean games having... What they mean by strategy is depth, basically. So when they say a game has no strategy, they mean it doesn't have a lot of depth. But I think we're seeing firsthand today that this game actually does have a surprising amount of hidden depth to it. In that I have no idea where to go next. I don't think... No, you can't jump high enough to get back over there. So it can't be that way, surely? Go through the wall? Nope. I don't know what to do now. Can't go through that wall. This way is Spider Town. If we go up here, that door's already shut. And we can't get through there because... Do we have to actually use the key? Is that how this works? Yes, that is how this works. Ow! You, sir, take a lot of hits. And I'm glad I'm powered up. We've got any healing left? One left. Let's use it, we might as well. Again, don't know how to get up there. Ooh, arrow trap. Time your jumps carefully. That's how we get that. It's another key! This must be for the other gate then, in that case. Leap of faith? Leap of faith. Ow. I should have probably just dropped down there, shouldn't I? Right, where was that lock gate? It was this way, I think. No. It was somewhere down here. Down here, maybe. There it is. Right. So, use the key. Deal with these idiots. You don't scare me, now I have a projectile weapon. Alright, and we've got one level of power up on our armoured self now. Rocks fall and you die. Oh, it's a gassy room. There's a gas potion. Let's use that. Oh, I'm dead. Bollocks. Alright, fine. Didn't want to go in there anyway. Traps on this level are bonkers. I would expect nothing less from an actual dungeon. Another gas potion. I guess there's going to be more gas. Do you just keep dropping gas potions? Is that your thing? Apparently so. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, what happened? Did that affect something somewhere else than level, maybe? Maybe. There's gas. This is a surprisingly complex level. More keys. Back into the gas. And out through here. And key. Oh, that's nasty. That is nasty. Stop that. Another power up. I've got the key for that door, which is good. Let's heal up. And get our power up. Right. Oh no, we lost power when we died, didn't we? Curses. So we're not at full power. We are almost at full power. Another healing potion, thank you very much. And spider fall into the toxic goo. What I like to see. Ooh. Rude. So yeah, I said at the start this game's pretty tough, but it's actually got a pretty good challenge curve. Because those first few levels really sort of get you into the game and get a feel for how your character works and so on. But by this point, I guess they sort of assume that if you get this far in the game, then you're probably having a good time. You're invested in what's happening. You want to see how things end up. And so that's why the level design has got so much more depth than those first couple of levels. I just looked at the clock. We've been playing this for an hour. It doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel that way. Alright. Let's continue. So we lose all our score. We lose our power up. We keep our armor, which is good. And I think we've lost most of our items as well. this is... You, sir, are very annoying. Oh my god, die. You're not even a boss. Why are you being such a pain in the ass? That is not how early I wanted to lose a life. Alright, come on, you git. I feel like our adventure is going to be over quite soon. Oh my god, fuck off! Well, this is mildly infuriating. I don't have anything else that will help in this situation either, which is annoying. Can I get him from over here? I can't reach him. He's in just the most annoying position possible. And that's it. This is how we die. The Dark Lady tightens her grip, and the land is thrown into despair and war. So that's that. Okay, my second credit didn't go quite the way I wanted it to go, but yeah, I mean, hopefully that's given you a good idea of how this game works. As I should probably not have to point out at this point, a common point of criticism as well is that this game doesn't have a save system or a password system, so if you're dead, if you get your game over, then you have to start all over again from the beginning. But I guess on some level that gives it some extra longevity and sort of forces you to master the game and get to grips with its various things and conserve your items and save them for situations like we just had there. Like if I'd gone into that last situation with a blast scroll or a Midas ring, I could have just blown him up and got rid of him. But because I didn't, that was where the difficulty came from. And I should have probably thought of that before before having to continue and losing all my stuff. But anyway, this is a good game that I keep coming back to. I'm very fond of it. So hopefully today has maybe inspired you to give it a look for yourself as well. This was Blades of Vengeance for the Sega Mega Drive, known as the Genesis in North America. Just remains me to say, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.